Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? We got a lot to talk about tonight. Trevor Story, Nick Castellanos, Carlos Correa, Luke Voit, the St. Louis Cardinals, Tyler Anderson, and a lot more. Let's get to it. And good evening, baseball fans. Hello. Over 300 people to start things off. What is going on? Seeing a lot of familiar faces. Look, Tony Clark, the head of the MLBPA, is in the chat. What is going on? Andrew, how are we doing? One of our members. William, another member. Zachary Goldstein, one of our moderators. What is going on? Combat Jones, CB, Ethan, Ed Bagley, another member. Mason, what's going on? Duran, what's going on, my friend? Another member. Anthony, Chris, another member. Man, we got a lot of members in here tonight. What's going on? Baseball Homer, hello. Dulcie Maris, what's going on? WYD Cole, hello. Cody Flexer, what's going on? Hirsch for real. Lionheart 70. White Eagles, Salt of the Earth, another member. Hello. The Finesse Kid, 2KJ. Nick Salvati, what's going on, my friend? Erod, hello. The Kid 99, just subscribe. What's going on? Billy, great lover of music. Thomas, what is going on? We got a lot of people in here. X-Bolt, Nick Taylor, Jacob Toon has become a member. Jacob Toon, thank you so much. What is going on, everyone? Landon, Legs, Mets Nation, Andrew, Al's Ryan. What's going on, everyone? Hello to everyone in here. We're almost at 400 people. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Nothing substantial except for a big trade today. Finally, this player is getting a change of scenery. It's about time. Luke Voit heading to the San Diego Padres today. We had Tyler Anderson go to the Dodgers. Look at the Dodgers loading up on pitching depth. That's what I think they need to do. Trevor Story supposedly down maybe to 4 teams. Nick Castellanos possibly drawing closer to a deal with the Phillies. We're going to talk about that. We got a lot to talk about. Everyone, if you can, before we do get started, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell button, hit the share button, hit all the buttons. We are trying to get to 30K by the end of the season. Could we maybe even get there by the trade deadline? Could we do it? Well, if you want to help us get there, hit that subscribe button. And again, hit that like button for me. So, everyone, let's just get to it here. Let's dive right in. Again, nothing, especially with the big free agents, nothing too substantial today. But it looks like maybe we're finally seeing some progress on a couple of these guys. Let's start off with the man that I want the most in Beantown on my Red Sox playing second base, Trevor Story. Come on, Trevor Story. What are we doing? Come on. Pick up the pen. Sign the contract. Let's go. I need you at second base right alongside Xander Bogaerts. Even if it's a 1-year deal, I will be a happy boy. Please, Trevor Story, please come to Boston. But there's a few other teams involved, looking like the San Francisco Giants are involved. And according to John Heyman, possibly a couple of mystery teams as well. So let's get to it here. Let's get the music going. You guys know I always like to set the mood. Here we go. 454 people in the chat. While I'm getting the music started, everyone, if you can, hit that like button for me. That's going to help this get out there into the algorithm. Here we go. Hold on one second. Let's put on the vibes here, like I always like to do. Here we go. Okay, here we go. First story, Trevor Story. No pun intended. All right, so down to 4 teams. So Ken Rosenthal as of 5:37 p.m. tonight. Also, I do have the phone. Whoa, hopefully I have my phone. Hopefully I don't break it. But I do have the phone ready. Got the notifications turned on in case anything big happens. And if anything does happen and I don't see it, please let me know in the chat. I'll know when something big happens in the chat. Hans, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? So, Trevor Story down to 4. Taking a look here, Kem Rosenthal as of 5:37. Oh my God, please be true. The Red Sox are indeed firmly involved in the running for Story. Listen, they've been connected with Trevor Story all offseason. They've had him come work out for them. They have been talking with him. Here's the thing. I tweeted this out today, and I've been saying this for months. I don't mean to, say like I'm beating a dead horse here, but I'm just saying, Trevor Story, if you want to go that 1-year route, take the 1-year deal like Marcus Semien did last offseason. Look what that did for him. Look at the deal that he got. Playing some second base is not going to kill you, my friend. It's not going to kill you. And, hey, who knows? Maybe, and maybe the Red Sox could be trying to offer him a longer deal because, hey, no, Xander Bogaerts, man, we don't know if he's going to be coming back. Reports are he's opted out of his deal after this year. He's going to go test free agency. So, hey, how about, we pay you maybe shortstop money, right? Because shortstops, they tend to get a little bit more money. But, maybe they can go a little more towards shortstop kind of money. And if it ends up being that Xander Bogaerts comes back, well, okay then. But, like, Trevor Story, at least you're getting paid, right? But if it is, maybe just a 1-year deal, he can play some second and, maybe a 2-year deal. Maybe something like that. I'm sure it is coming down to the years, and probably the money also as well, obviously. But I wonder how big of a deal the years are at the moment. But according to Jon Heyman today, Jon Heyman was saying that he is open to a short-term positional move. That's why I've been saying maybe a 1-year deal. Go play second for 1 year just like Marcus Semien did. I've been saying this. It feels like Trevor Story is Marcus Semien 2.0. But I think it'd be an amazing fit for the Red Sox. That would be cool if we could sign him for a couple of more years. But don't forget, the Red Sox, they got some guys who could be potential, second baseman down the road. Someone like Nick York, who I think is going to be a gamer, man. I think he's going to be really good. So I wonder, it's interesting with Story because there's a lot of teams out there that think, well, okay, there seems to be something going on, with the arm. Maybe he needs Tommy John, something like that. The throws weren't quite as crisp last year, not right on the money like Trevor Story always used to do them. The great range, Trevor Story, you're not going to doubt the range, but the arm was a bit of an issue. So I'm wondering, I am curious to see what kind of a contract Trevor Story ends up getting. Could it be a 1-year deal? Could it be maybe 2? Maybe 1 year and an option? Could it be a 5-year deal? 4-year deal? I don't know. I'm very curious to see what kind of a contract he ends up getting. Now, I'm also wondering who the other two teams, and I think Heyman actually tweeted this out today too. Let's go back into the Red Sox bringing back the mayor of Ding Dong City today. I'm all about it. But let's see. Also, Matt Carpenter going to the Rangers today. Matt Carpenter, man. Hopefully this guy can get himself back on track. So, Jon Heyman said today, this is a rare occurrence for the multiple mystery team situation. So, usually you kind of got one mystery team kind of hanging in there. But now, Trevor Story, it's 2. Who could those mystery teams be? Who could they be? You know what one team I think it could be? I think it could be the Angels, to be completely honest. Haven't really heard about the Angels all too much, but you never know with the Angels. They could use a shortstop. I wonder if they are the mystery team. Now, the Twins, I see you, Ben Myers, in there. I see you. I don't think the Twins are going to be the mystery team. I definitely think the Twins are interested. So surprising to see that Heyman didn't list the Twins because I don't know if maybe the Twins are out of it. I don't know. We've seen the Guardians show some interest. Who could be a team here? We've also seen that the Cardinals have been interested, but who could be a team for Trevor Story that we haven't heard of? Who? I'm trying to think. Maybe the Nationals. Maybe they could use a shortstop, right? I made a bold prediction, maybe saying maybe Carlos Correa could go to the Nationals. But we haven't heard about them. Could we see the Nationals? Who's another team? Maybe a team like the Diamondbacks. Maybe? I don't know. But who's another team? We've seen the Rangers connected with them. We've seen the Mariners connected with them. We've seen the Astros connected with him. You know, who's another team? I don't think the Cubs at this point. I think they're probably done. You know, honestly, if there is a mystery team, I would probably say the Nationals, maybe the Diamondbacks. You know, but then, because with the Diamondbacks, maybe they want to make an upgrade over Nick Ahmed. You know? I don't think the Mets, man. I don't think it's going to be the Mets that are the potential mystery team, because they are so jammed with just all these players, you know? I mean, there's just a lot of guys right now. Dominic Smith. I mean, come on. You know, Dominic Smith, Jeff McNeil. Going blank. Who's the other one? Wow, I'm going so blank on the other one. I've been working all day. Just to let you all know, I'm a little tired. Who is the other player? Oh, J.D. Davis. That's right. J.D. Davis. I don't know. I really don't know who these mystery teams could be. It's very interesting. I think a team like the Nationals could be an interesting one, because they don't really have a long-term shortstop. They have Alcides Escobar, but this guy's 35 years old. I wonder if they're a mystery team, you know? Because they don't really have a prospect down in the minor leagues that could be, you know, the next guy up for shortstop. So I wonder if the Nationals are the mystery team, or one of the two mystery teams. Again, going back to the Diamondbacks, you got Ahmed, you got Perdomo down in the minor leagues. But if we actually go to Perdomo, taking a look at what his scouting report is looking like on Fangraphs, you know, he's got a potential for a 55 hit tool, according to them. Not too much power, but a lot of speed, good fielding tool. So they overall give him a 50 grade, which is fine. But and he did decent in his 11 games last year. Had a 378 on base. So it's very possible they could just go with him. But again, I'm just kind of looking at some teams. You know, maybe, and we haven't heard anything about the Angels, I feel like. The Angels really need a shortstop. I mean, unless they're going with David Fletcher, and then Matt Duffy and Tyler Wade at second base. But I don't know. So I think the Angels could be a mystery team. I mean, maybe the Tigers? Maybe? Could you maybe have a combo of a Javier Baez and Trevor Story? I think that's possible. Probably not the White Sox at this point. I mean, they're, you know, bringing in Josh Harrison. I don't think that's an option. Could the mystery team be his old team, the Rockies? I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine he just ends up going back to the Rockies, and now you got Story and Chris Bryant? Oh, that would be awesome. Honestly, that would be awesome, but they're probably not going to do it. So maybe a team like the Brewers. Probably, I don't know about that. I mean, you got Adames and Wong, so I don't think Story would go to the Brewers. So these are the three teams who I think could be the potential mystery teams. Again, I'm not talking about the Cardinals. I'm not talking about the Twins. I'm not talking about the Guardians, because those teams have been mentioned before. I'm thinking of teams that have not been mentioned. So I see Duke in the chat. Maybe the Braves. You know, I mean, you got Swanson at short and Albies at second. So maybe one of those guys could move off. Maybe move to an outfield spot. You also have DH. So I don't know. I mean, I see also in the chat, Reds maybe. Could you imagine? Could you imagine he ends up going to the Reds? I'm wondering if the Reds are like trying to do something. You know, they cleared out a little payroll, getting rid of Sonny Gray. You know, getting rid of Winker. Getting rid of Suarez. They have cleared out some payroll. You know, the Reds are definitely in a bit of a retool. I don't think they're not tanking. I don't think they're tanking because, I mean, why would they bring in Mike Minor? You know, why, if they're tanking, they would do their best to get rid of Luis Castillo and Tyler Mahle, but reports are that they don't want to trade those guys. So, I mean, I'm just saying, man, you know, I don't think they're tanking. I don't know. I'm wondering if the Reds are maybe trying to do something. Probably not. I would say like 99% no, they're not trying to do anything. But, you know, Heyman today, I believe we're going to talk about Nick Castellanos in a little bit. But Heyman actually did tweet something about Nick Castellanos' market. So I actually got to go dig that up. But where was that? I think he might have tweeted it in the morning. Where was it? Yeah, right here. We'll talk about Castellanos here in just a second. I'll get to that. But as for Story, to me, we talked about this last night. You know, I don't want to keep beating it like it's a dead horse here, but I think the Red Sox right now, if you want to go to a team to restore your value a little bit, you know, maybe, I wouldn't say restore because he did have a pretty good season last year overall, a much better second half. I think the Red Sox really, if you were to go on a 1-year deal, which I wonder if the Red Sox would want to do 1 year. I don't know. But if you went to the Red Sox, you would obviously have a really good chance of competing. You potentially have a chance to be the shortstop next year if you're unable to bring Bogarts back. So, but then there are also the San Francisco Giants. I haven't even talked about the Giants. It's interesting with the Giants because you have Brandon Crawford and then Tommy La Stella at second. So it really seems like right now the best teams that he's not going to play short. I would imagine, like, to me, the only teams where I could see him playing short are the Angels, the Twins, the Cardinals, but the Cardinals have to make moves to be able to make room for him. So if you take a look, Tommy La Stella, he is a guy that can move around. So he could, and he is coming off of an Achilles injury. So he has been, you know, doing some stuff at spring training, but I wonder, you know, if they're going to want to ease him back in. But La Stella is a guy that can move around a little bit. So, but I could see Story. I am a little afraid of the Giants here because they really could use a right-handed bat. Look at all the lefty bats they have. You know, that's a ton of lefty bats. You know, Trevor Story would help balance that out a little bit. And then, you know, he would most likely play second with Brandon Crawford at short. So I don't think you would move Brandon Crawford off. So Story, he's been in the NL West his whole career. So very possible he ends up going to the Giants. You could definitely see that. I also see that. Elijah Longoria, you could put him at DH. So that's very possible. And then you can have La Stella play third. So I do think the two teams that make the most sense are the Red Sox and the Giants, which is what John Heyman said in this tweet today. So those other teams that are in the mix, I don't know, but I think in the end, honestly, I'll probably give the edge to the Giants, to be completely honest, because he is very familiar with that division, you know, very familiar with that division. So Jacob Toon, $2 super chat. Rays should get Longo back. We need a third baseman. That'd be pretty cool, right? But I don't think the Giants are going to get rid of him. You know, he was actually doing pretty good last year, and then he ended up getting hurt. So I think he's going to end up being pretty good for the Giants. But not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Wonder if the Rays maybe go a different direction there. So overall, I'll give the Giants the edge for Trevor Story, because you got to remember here, they lost Buster Posey. They had Chris Bryant there for a little bit, but he's gone now. And so, you know, I'm just saying the Giants really could use another bat. Caleb with a $5 super chat. Not sure if you talked about it yet, but thoughts on Colin Moran to the Reds? I personally think it's a good move. I think they need one more bat. So, yeah, good low-key move for the Cincinnati Reds. That was another move today. But if we go take a look, Colin Moran, as of right now, they are projecting him as the DH. He's still under 30 years old. So if we take a look at his numbers from last year, Colin Moran, I believe he was hurt a little bit last year, but hey, with Colin Moran, he's a pretty good on base guy. 334 on base last year. He's always been okay. You know, he's not going to be like a huge difference maker. You know, but he is someone where, you know, he can play the corners, he can DH. I think he's an okay bat to add for the Reds. You know, it's a cheaper bat. So if we actually go to Colin Moran on Baseball Savant. Let's see. How are the advanced numbers looking for Colin Moran? Garrett Link, I see a super chat coming from you as well. What did you think of Corey Dickerson to the Cards? I like it. I thought it was a nice move. You know, Corey Dickerson, he's a solid veteran player. I think he's a nice addition for the St. Louis Cardinals. Honestly, you can't really go wrong. Colin Moran, he is a guy where, on average, he's not going to get a ton of exit velocity, but as you can see here, his max exit velocity ranked in the top 30% last year, so he definitely can get into one. And he walks a good amount. Like I said, he's a pretty good on-base guy. So, if you notice with the Reds, you know, kind of notice the trend here. They added Jake Fraley, who's a good on-base guy. Colin Moran, decent at getting on base. Those two guys like to take walks. So, Colin Moran, he was in right around the top 30%. He was the 66th percentile last year in walks. And if we go to Jake Fraley, Jake Fraley had himself a pretty decent on base last year. I believe it was around 350. So didn't have enough at-bats to qualify for the rankings this year. But actually, he hasn't had enough at-bats ever to really to pop up. But if we take a look, ex-Woba in 2021 was a 335. So if we take a look at the standard numbers, so he had an on base of 352. So his ex-Woba was actually lower. So it looks like the Reds, they're trying to. It's funny because they got rid of Eugenio Suarez, who strikes out a lot, but Colin Moran and Fraley, these are guys that tend to do a bit better at getting on base. So wondering if the Reds are trying to kind of lean more towards that strategy. Mike Moustakas is also a guy this year. He's seems like he's disappeared in the last couple of years, but Mike Moustakas, I think this is a guy who could have a bounce back year, where you can maybe start seeing him get back to his old power numbers a little bit. He's going back to his old position at third base. So I definitely think Moustakas is a guy, keep an eye out for him this year. But then, of course, you got Joey Votto still, too. He's fantastic at getting on base. Stevenson's a good on base guy. So if we look actually at the 2021 numbers, Stevenson last year had a 366 on base. India with a 376. I'm just saying. Moustakas, as of right now, he had a 282 on base last year. It's been in like the low 300s in his career. Kyle Farmer, 316. But I'm telling you, I think you might see a bit of a surprising Reds team this year. Guys that can work the count, they can get on base. So look out for the Reds, I'm pretty curious to see what they're going to do. But as for Trevor Story, again, I'm going to give the edge to the Giants here. I'd love for him to come to my Red Sox. I really would. But again, he's been in the NL West. The Giants, they got a good solid group of guys over there. They really could use a right-handed bat. We'll have to wait and see. I really do think it's going to have to be a lot of boxes checked off with Story. Is he going to get the years that he wants? Is he going to get paid? Because Story probably wants shortstop money, right? because he wants to be a shortstop. And one of the reasons he comes out and says that is because shortstops, they make more money. It's a premium position. Second baseman, they tend not to make as much when it comes to, contracts. I mean, Marcus Semien, that's a guy who has shown he can play a good shortstop. So even though he is not going to be the primary shortstop for the Rangers, he's still going to be getting paid pretty nicely. So nothing new. All right, so still looking out for the Twitter. But Trevor Story, we're going to have to wait and see where he goes. I think if the Giants are serious about him, I'll definitely lean Giants. But if the Red Sox can, it really just depends on what Story wants to do. Does he want to do a one-year deal? Does he want to do, I would say, I don't know, man. If you take a multi-year deal, if you look at the Giants, hold on real quick before I move on, when is Brandon Crawford a free agent? He still has 2 more years on his deal. So maybe that ends up being good for the Red Sox in their favor, because Xander Bogaerts is supposedly going to opt out of his deal. So we're going to have to wait and see. But moving on to our next story, another big free agent, Nick Castellanos. It looks like maybe he could be going to Philadelphia. According to a couple of reports, the Phillies are really upping their efforts to get Castellanos. Let's go take a look at the story here. According to John Morosi, the two sides are indeed making progress on a contract. Jim Salisbury of NBC Sports Philadelphia tweets that the Phillies are indeed on Castellanos. He points out owner John Middleton has said in the past he would exceed the luxury tax for the right opportunity. I did mention that last night. Where the Phillies, if they sign Castellanos, they're going to go over that CBT. So Heyman does note, and this is the tweet that I pulled up earlier, some surprise teams are showing interest in Castellanos. One of those is his old team, the Reds, who seem to be in steep sell mode. They do have needs, but with contenders in the mix, that would seem like a long shot Philly. Others, presumably, much more likely. And I said that on last night's stream. I said, listen, probably a very low chance of it happening, but don't be surprised if the Reds try to bring him back. They have cleared out some money. So with Castellanos, that would be a nice bat to have over the next 4 to 5 years. So I don't think he will go back to the Reds, but I think, honestly, I wouldn't count the Reds out, or at least them they'll make an offer, right? Or at least they're going to see what they can do. But it seems like Philly, man. Philly is a very motivated organization. Oh, here we go. We just got a big tweet from Hector Gomez. Big tweet from Hector Gomez. Oh, man, he just retweeted something here about Trevor Story. According to Mike DePortes, the only thing stopping Trevor Story signing with the Red Sox, come on, Hector Gomez, you got to put the X. You got to put the X. Is the decision to play second base, since the team told him they want him in their lineup, but he has to play second base because they have Xander Bogaerts at short. So it would be the same thing with the Giants. Because you got Crawford there. So the only reason I'm giving the Giants a bit of an edge, do I even want to call it an edge? Because he's been in that division. I don't know if that matters to him or not, but he is obviously familiar with that division. So, I've been sitting here saying the Red Sox make a ton of sense. I think the Red Sox make more sense than the Giants. But I think, because when you look at it, Xander Bogaerts, again, could be out next year. He might want to go test the market. It seems like he's going to, according to reports. We've been hearing that now for months. So that's the only thing I think the Red Sox can promise him. Like, listen, I think if you would like to come sign with us, all we can tell you is Bogarts might be gone next year, and if he's gone, you can play shortstop. But, I think this is pretty unlikely, but what if the Red Sox, they say, hey, Bogey, okay, come on in. We need to have a chat, right? All right, so we got to deal with Story, but he wants to play short. Would you be willing to move to second? I think the Red Sox will. I think Bogarts would be better at second. I really do. Bogarts kind of reminds me of Robinson Cano, like that same kind of a build, Maybe Cano's a little bigger than Bogarts, but when I look at Xander Bogarts, I think he would be better at second. I really do. Or I think he would at least be similar at second. Very similar. But I think the Red Sox, again, I think they make the most sense because they do need a second baseman. The Giants, they could use a second baseman. And they have that division, that familiarity. So then there's teams, you got other teams out there like the Twins, the Cardinals, the Guardians. There are teams out there, but I think with Story, I mean, when you got a chance, when you got the Red Sox here, and they got a good team. It's I can understand why he would be interested in signing with this team. I'm just saying, I do think the Red Sox make the most sense, but will they get him? I don't know. But the same thing is going to happen with the Giants. So if it is a matter of wanting to play short, he's not going to. I don't think he's going to be able to play short at either. Could the Giants do the same thing with Brandon Crawford? Like, hey, Brandon, man, Story. We could get Story. He wants to play short. Would you be willing to play second? So that would be really interesting to have that conversation with either a Brandon Crawford or a Xander Bogaerts. Could you imagine? Imagine yourself. You're a premier. You're in a premier position at shortstop. You're also worrying about your long-term future. You're looking at, the money for yourself long-term. And that'd be a lot, man. To give up your position for a guy that's just coming in. And I don't know. So I think Story, if his arm is fine, I think Story is the better shortstop for the Red Sox. I think Xander Bogaerts on paper should move to second if you were to get Story. I would take my chances. If his arm is good, I would take my chances with the arm. So we're going to have to wait and see, man. I think Story makes the most sense for Boston. I don't know. Will the Twins? I think the Twins are definitely a possibility. But what happens with Arise? I don't know. So we're going to have to wait and see, man. Hopefully we get another update. But let's see. Is there anything else? Nope. All right, we're going to have to keep track of this. So come on, Story. Come on, Story. Come to Boston. Come to Beantown. The water is dirty. The water is warm. Come on over, Story. I want you in that lineup. I need you. Please come to Boston. Come on. You would look lovely in that Red Sox jersey. You would look wonderful. Anyway, back to Castellanos. That's not Castellanos. If Castellanos does end up going to the Phillies, that's going to be huge. Dude, here's the question, everyone. Here's the question. If Castellanos goes to the Phillies, would you consider them one of the favorites for the division? Really, could you possibly consider them a favorite for the division if they got Castellanos? That lineup would be ridiculous. I mean, you already got Schwarber, and then you would get Castellanos, who would be your DH. Oh my God. And then you could put Vierling in center field. Oh my God. Duran, no Alex Colomé. Keep Alex Colomé away from my Red Sox. I'll take Trevor Story all day, but no, Alex Colomé, you stay away from Boston. No, no. You stay away. Do not come to Boston. No Boston for you, Alex Colomé. You go away. No, you are not allowed. But Castellanos, thank you for the super chat. But Castellanos, man, this lineup would be potent with Castellanos. The only problem would be the bullpen. That's the only thing. Starting pitching looks good. Lineup would be stupid. But that bullpen, man. Ooh. That bullpen would look pretty good. I think the White Sox, or what the heck did I just say? Why was I saying the White? What the heck? I got to go to bed. What the heck am I saying? The Phillies, Jesus, I just, whoa. My brain just split in two right there. The Phillies. Why did I say the White Sox? Good grief. I'm getting dementia at a young age. But the Phillies, the only problem would be their bullpen. That's it. And also depth in their farm system. You know, you do have someone like Bryson Stott. You got a couple of guys. Hans Kraus could maybe make an appearance. But if we actually pull up the Phillies, I mean, Matt Abel's way too far away. So you're not, or Mick Abel, Painter too far away. You do have Morales here. So they got a couple of guys who could come up to help them with pitching if they needed it. Bryson Stott. There is someone like Luis Garcia maybe if you needed him. So the Phillies, you know, I would have to think they would at least be a wild card. At least. Could you imagine the Phillies with Castellanos, the Mets, and the Braves? And then that Marlins, even though the Marlins need more bats, could you imagine the Marlins just with that pitching? You know? But the Marlins probably wouldn't be a playoff team, but they have good pitching, so they're not going to be easy to beat. So what a division that would be. Good grief. So I would still keep an eye out for a couple of teams. The Marlins, you know, I don't know. Again, we kind of ranted about this last night. Everyone. Hold on, I'm going to talk about this in just a second. But everyone. The Marlins, you know, if they were able to get Castellanos, man, that would be just huge for that city, man. Huge. Huge for that organization. They need a bat, man. If they were able to have Castellanos as an icing on the cake move for this offseason, oh my God, that Marlins team could be pretty good. So I definitely think that would be a really good option. Again, keep an eye out for the Reds. I would not count them out just yet. They have cleared some payroll. I don't think they do it, but we'll have to wait and see. But everyone. I'm seeing a super chat here. Zeppelin, how many wins do you think my Dodgers will get this season? How many did they have last year? What was it? 106? 106 wins last year? 106? I think they definitely could be right. Anywhere from 100 to 106. I think they could be that. So it's a long season. I know they look great on paper, but you know, it's a long season. You never know what injuries could happen. You never know. So it's hard to. I always like to go range. You know, I could definitely see a 100+ win team. You know, for sure I could see that. Could they break 110? Absolutely, they could break 110. Of course they could. So it's a long season, you know. But anyway, everyone. Speaking of the Marlins, it looks like we have landed a guest on this show. I think we did it. It looks like we have a time. It looks like we have a date. Everyone, we have landed quite the guess. Chris, what's going on? Look at the chat. What did I miss? What did I miss? Oh man, are we looking at the win totals here? Seeing a few 110s. Ooh, Robert, I don't know about 120. Oh, that's a lot, man. No way. Good grief. Could you imagine? Man? Oh, Pineda went to the Tigers. Oh, okay. It's Pineda to the Tigers? Did he? Where is it? Where's the report? I'm not seeing it. Oh my goodness, Hans with a $10 super chat. Oh my goodness, never heard of Hans Kraus. That man's got to be an insane player. Heim got to open up the checkbook, write a check to Nick Castellanos or Story. I think they got to get someone. I think he really wants a right-handed bat. Story preferably because he can fill the hole at second. I can get Ian Anderson as a guest for you probably. Just let me know. Oh my goodness, Ian Anderson? Hey, let me know, man. Hey, hit me up on Twitter. I would love to talk with Ian Anderson. That would be a dream. But MLBTR, they're reporting it. I haven't seen anyone else report it. That's a great move. Wow. Okay. Look at Pineda to the Tigers. It's pitching depth. I like it. I think that I saw the Tigers getting another pitcher. I thought maybe they would go after Carlos Rodon, but was it Ken Rosenthal that said it? Okay, now it's coming out here. All right. Hey, good move for the Tigers. I think that is a nice move. Get some more depth. And, the Tigers, man, hey, they got some good guys in that organization. They can work with you. And hopefully with Pineda, maybe they can keep him healthy, man. So that's a nice move. If you look at the Tigers right now, now they've added 2 pitchers. Well, I mean, they did add Willie Peralta, but I would imagine Pineda now would be your number 5, right? He'll be in this rotation. But you got to think here. I mean, you got Eduardo Rodriguez now. You got Pineda. And then you got these 3 young guys with Casey Mize, Skubal, and Matt Manning. So that's I think I like that move. I do like this move a lot. So just breaking, everyone. Michael Pineda going to... What happened to the story? Where did it go? Oh, Michael Pineda going to the Tigers. So, everyone, I have a bit of an announcement. I think it's set. I think it's set in stone. It looks like we have a date. It looks like we have a time. I guess I got to do I'll do a reveal. We have we've had a couple of cool guests on this channel. I've talked with the owner of Baseball Trade Values, John Bitzer. He's an awesome guy. Baseball Trade Values is one of my favorite websites to go to. It's been a huge part of this channel. So talked with John Bitzer. That was an awesome conversation. We talked with Foolish Baseball. If you haven't seen that, go back onto the channel. Me and Foolish Baseball, we talked for about an hour. Just kind of, just talking some baseball, nothing crazy. But we have another guest. And I'm going to have to do a reveal. And I actually wonder how some of you might actually take this one. But you know what? I think, honestly, this is going to be a really good guest. And hold on one second. Let me do this here. So let me get a picture up, and I'll do a reveal. Well, can't use that picture. Hold on. Gotta get a good picture up for you for the reveal. Hans Isdell, $2 super chat. Oh, thank you, Hans. Message sent. Yes, I will check that after the show, Hans. Thank you so much, my friend. That would be an awesome opportunity to be able to talk to a player like Ian Anderson, man. That would be crazy. But everyone, our next guest on this channel, and I actually think I'm going to do it live. I think that'd be really cool because I would love for all of you maybe to, to ask questions. I think that would be a really cool thing. But the next guest on this channel, I think it would be a really awesome opportunity to really kind of dive into a different aspect of the game, where we kind of talk about a little bit more about the behind the scenes, more of the behind the scenes aspects of the game of baseball, stuff that goes on in the front office, stuff that goes on, with trades, what goes on in an organization. And the person that I have landed is Mr. David Samson. David Samson, the former president of the Miami Marlins. And I am really excited about it. And I know there's definitely, there's definitely some people out there where, they maybe not a big fan of David Samson, but he is the former president of the Miami Marlins. And honestly, I'm actually really excited for this conversation, because I think, everyone's saying, who is this? Who is this? This is the former president of the Marlins. That's a pretty decent job to have. But there is, I think there's a lot to learn. Obviously David Samson, they couldn't reach their goal of getting to the playoffs, since 2003. Took over the Marlins shortly before. They made it to the World Series, but then they just ran into that long drought. And there were some good things that happened during his tenure, but there were some things that I'm sure he would say that he definitely, could have done better at. So honestly, I really am excited for this conversation. I think it's going to be just diving into a different aspect of the game, the behind the scenes kind of things, like trades, free agency, all that stuff. So David Samson will be on the show next week. I think we're going to be doing Tuesday night. He does have a YouTube channel, Nothing Personal with David Samson. And he also talks on CBS Sports as well. So, but Jacob Toon, no Alex Colomé. No Alex Colomé for you. We will not do Alex Colomé. What's going on with John Heyman? But David Samson going to be the next guest. Here we go. What's John Heyman saying? Come on. Yep. Pineda to the Tigers. Yeah. Everyone, only tell me, if something breaking happens. He's saying here the money, but if you can, just let me know if something new happens. Okay. So let's move on. So we've talked about Story. We've talked about Castellanos. I'm not going to spend too long on the next story because there's not too much of an update, but there was maybe a little something out there. What's going on with Carlos Correa? What's going on with him? It's funny because, I'm not tooting my horn here. That's not what I'm doing, but I just do find it funny that I saw that report with Carlos Correa a little while ago, I believe from Raul Ramos, and which is a Spanish news outlet for baseball, and he was reporting that the Orioles had an offer on the table, and so now all of these other guys out here are starting to now get into it. I've been talking about Carlos Correa to the Orioles for what feels like 2 weeks. And like now people are starting to, come around to it. Where if you take a look here, where was the article here? Former Astros scouting director Mike Elias, an instrumental factor in Houston's decision to select Correa first overall in 2012 draft, is now running the baseball operations with the Orioles. That has led to some speculation the rebuilding O's could get into the mix for the two-time All-Star. There hadn't previously been any firm indication Baltimore was considering such a move, but Rosenthal wrote last night the O's could contemplate a run at Correa if his price dropped to a level the clubs deemed appropriate. Supposedly, they had offered, Super Chat, they had offered a 10-year, $300 million deal, but then we also read a report from the same reporter, I believe, again, Raul Ramos, where it looks like the Orioles may have submitted another offer for Carlos Correa. So we're going to have to wait and see. Zeppelin, thank you for the Super Chat. Love this channel you got going on. Charismatic, well-spoken, and love how passionate you are about the game. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I do appreciate that. I'm just glad you come out and show your support, man. Trust me, I love all you guys coming out here all the time, watching my dopey face talk about some baseball. I do really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, really. So but thank you for always coming out. I really do appreciate that. Albert, $5 Super Chat. If you have that second base chat with X, why not go after Correa? That's true. See if he takes 6 over 10, 210 with an opt-out after 3. See if he can get paid again. So, Albert, I definitely see the way you're thinking. I agree with you. I would see. I'm pretty sure. This is where I think, and I think you're onto something here. Nahawan, thank you for the Super Chat. Would you interview Manfred if he allowed it? Absolutely, I would. Yeah, I would totally interview Rob Manfred. Absolutely, that'd be a blast of an interview. Honestly, I'd love to ask him some tough questions. I'd love to, get into it with Rob Manfred. Why not? I would always love that opportunity. Always. But Albert, back to you. I think that maybe that's because you saw the Red Sox connected with Carlos Correa there. And you know why I think they were connected with him was they probably thought, all right, let's see if he'll take a shorter deal. I think that's what it was. Chaim Bloom does not want to give out long-term deals. And that clearly showed with Mookie Betts. They did not want to go the long-term deal. I think ownership is not really up for it. Because you got to remember here, look what ended up happening with these long-term deals. Manny Ramirez was a long-term deal. That ended up, while yes, you got a lot out of Manny Ramirez and you got 2 World Series during his time, there was a lot of ups and downs with Manny Ramirez. David Price, they gave him a long-term deal. He helped win the World Series in 2018, but there were a lot of headaches with David Price. There were injuries. There were inconsistencies. Remember the long-term contract they gave to Carl Crawford? That didn't work out. And the Red Sox have not had a lot of luck with long-term deals. Look at Dustin Pedroia, Red Sox legend, long-term deal. Look how that ended up. I don't think the Red Sox want to do long-term deals. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think a lot of teams are starting to not do the long-term deals. Hans, what's going on? Sox don't need a first baseman. Dahlbeck had a great end of season. Yes, off to a good spring. Sox need a right-handed bat. Please, Heim. Can't wait for York, though. Absolutely. I'm definitely excited for York. And I think Bobby Dahlbeck, I definitely think he could be a trade piece, but he had 25 home runs last year. I definitely think Bobby Dahlbeck, that's a right-handed bat. And don't forget, they've been trying Bobby Dahlbeck in left field. They've been playing him at second base. Dahlbeck is someone that you can work with. He has a lot of potential, a lot of raw power. So we're going to have to wait and see what ends up happening. Will they go with Trevor Story? Will they shift Dahlbeck over when Cassis comes up? We'll have to wait and see. I am excited for Nick York, though. So thank you, everyone. We just got a flurry of Super Chats that came in. I thank you so much for all of those. So thank you. But Carlos Correa, it makes a lot of sense for the Orioles. It checks off a lot of boxes. Whether you like it or not, it does. It checks off a lot of boxes. They have the money. There's the connection with Elias. They need a shortstop. Don't tell me Gunnar Henderson is the future when he still has to prove a lot in the minor leagues. There's a lot of boxes. They got a lot of prospects coming up. Maybe they're not going to be in contention the next couple of years. But Carlos Correa would be their biggest contract. Sure, Cedric Mullins, maybe John Means. You got to get signed up to some extensions. But I'm going to say, I was listening to Michael Kay earlier. And Michael Kay and, the other two. I always forget the other guy's name. He's so funny. The guy that just like flips out and he freaks out. I always forget his name because I just always focus on Michael Kay. But Michael Kay said something where he's like, well, why would Carlos Correa want to go to Baltimore? Does he, if he goes to Baltimore, he basically said like he only cares about just getting the money. Well, why couldn't Baltimore end up being a contender in the next couple of years? They got a lot of good prospects. They have some good young players already that you can, help build around with Correa. They will have more payroll. They were up to a $180 million payroll just a few years ago. The Orioles can go out there and spend money. They were talking about how the Orioles, they're going to give up a ton of home runs. Well, remember, they did just move the walls back. So keep that in mind. I wonder if that ends up helping. So I think Correa to the Orioles, man, I will say it until I'm blue in the face. I think he makes a lot of sense. I think he makes a lot of sense to the Orioles, man. I'm just saying. So we'll have to wait and see. Oh, but the one thing I did want to share was Maldonado. Right? Maldonado putting some eyes out there. What could the eyes mean? I don't know. What is Mike Deportes saying? Is this it? Nope. Wait, is this it? That's not Mike Deportes. Where was... Hold on. Hold on. I'm not seeing Mike Deportes anywhere. Didn't I just click on his name earlier with something? Hold on. Let me go back to the notifications. Oh. Oh, yeah, we read this earlier. Yeah, we read this earlier with Mike Deportes. Or, yeah, Mike Rodriguez. We read this one earlier. So, but yeah. Taking a look at, where were we? We were talking about Correa. Again, I think Correa makes a ton of sense. And I do find it funny that guys like Ken Rosenthal, they're like just talking about it now. And it's like, why haven't you talked about it before? And I'll admit it too. I don't know how I didn't see it before. How did I not see this before? I don't know. I don't know why I never made that connection. Because I'm thinking, it makes a ton of sense. I was thinking the Tigers, the Yankees. I thought the Tigers were the number one option. The Yankees, maybe the Angels, maybe the Red Sox. But I never once thought of the Orioles. And, honestly, shame on me. How did I not make that? How did I not make that connection? There's a huge fit there. So I do find it funny that, Rosenthal is just talking about it. And I don't know. Maybe he thought the source wasn't really legit. But it seems like it's gaining steam. And, hey, once something gains steam, you just need a little momentum already. So we'll have to see. Can the Orioles get it done? Or will he just go back to Houston? We'll have to wait and see. So, not going to take up too much more of all of your time. We do have a few moves to talk about today. Let's get to a big trade. This was a big one today, and I really think this could end up being a good trade for both sides. Luke Voit heading to the Padres. I really do like this a lot. I think it's a very solid move. It's just a solid move for Luke Voit. This guy, he's had a little bit of bad luck in his career. He really has. Taking a look at the trade on Baseball Trade Values, it does come out as an accepted trade through their simulator. So baseball trade values, they win once again. Sharing the screen. Taking a look here. Voit worth around $3 million. The Yankees getting a hard-throwing righty in Lang, going back to them. So about $1.7 million. So, right around even. It was an accepted trade. So, but yeah. Kaylee Scott, Correa is a primetime player. Wasting away in Baltimore makes no sense unless it's about money. Well, the thing is, I think Correa, you have to convince him because they do have a lot of young players. They do. They got a future. Like, where if you look at the Mariners are an enticing team because they have a lot of young players as well. Baltimore, maybe not as much, but Baltimore has a really good farm system where Adley Rutschman's coming up soon. You got Grayson Rodriguez, who looks like a future ace. You got DL Hall in the minor leagues. There's a lot of I got a good feeling that maybe Correa probably sees something there. He sees potential. Hans just texted Ian. Oh my goodness, Hans, you are working some miracles here. Man. Hans, man, appreciate you, my friend. That'd be awesome. I would love to have that. So, but then again, you also have to remember here with Carlos Correa, he knows that Mike Elias can help get an organization on track. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Nope, nothing. But as for the trade with Luke Voit, I do like it a lot. Even trade for both sides. Taking a look here. They're getting back Justin Lang as well. If we go look at Justin Lang's numbers, he's a hard-throwing guy. So in the minors last year, he doesn't really have much to look at. If we take a look at his minor league stats. So he was drafted 34th overall in the 2020 draft. So not a lot going on so far. He was in rookie ball. 9 starts, 6.95 ERA. It's it's a guy who has a lot of velocity, but he walks a lot of guys too. Zeppelin, what's going on? Which Hall of Fame eligible players right now deserve to be in it? I'm thinking, who are the? To me, he's not eligible anymore. Well, the guys that are no longer eligible. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling should all be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what anyone says. Those guys should be in the Hall of Fame. But they are no longer eligible. So if we're looking at guys, I think Alex Rodriguez should be in. Say what you want about, the steroids and whatever. But A-Rod was one of the best players to ever play the game. I totally think that. Going blank on who's... I think Billy Wagner should get in. I think Scott Rowland should get in. I think that would be really good. Who... trying to think, top of my head. Billy Wagner. I think Todd Helton has a place. Scott Rowland. I think Scott Rowland should be in. He'll get in eventually. He's close. So, I see you in the chat. Dulcie Maris, Pete Rose. Yeah, Pete Rose should be in. Pete Rose should be in. Because here's the thing. I'm sorry. I love David Ortiz, but David Ortiz came up on a report for steroids. For PEDs. Whatever it was. Did he do it? I don't know. But he came up on a report. And that, you could not prove that Barry Bonds ever did anything. You could assume, and yeah, most likely he did, but you could never prove it. David Ortiz, you couldn't prove it either. So why is it different that David Ortiz gets in, but Barry Bonds doesn't? So there's a bit of it's a double standard right there. So I don't know. But for Justin Lang, let's go to some top prospects here. There's David Sampson. Pretty excited about that conversation we're gonna have. I think it's exciting, man. I'm very excited for it. But let's see, Justin Lang, where does he fit on their top prospects now? Is he even on their top prospects? Not seeing him here. Have they even updated it? San Diego Padres. I guess he wasn't on their top 30. So let's go to Fangraphs. I need some kind of a scouting report. He actually might have been on Baseball America. Let's see. Let's go to the Padres top 30. And speaking of the Padres prospects, Mackenzie Gore looked pretty good in spring training today. A couple of strikeouts, I believe. Mackenzie Gore, man, that guy's got to get himself back on track. All right, Justin Lang. Where do they have him here? Man, I'm not even seeing him on the top 40. Unless they updated it. But they haven't updated it since March 8th. Well, let's see. Let's go to the Yankees. Nope, not seeing him there either. So let's go to his Fangraphs. Let's see what the scouting report looks like there. Big fastball. 60 fastball. There's just not a lot of command with him right now. They think he can get up to a 45. He's at a 20 right now. If you saw the walks per 9, was he 16 on the Padres? Where did I miss him? Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't even notice it. Right there. Oh, man. Let's see what Baseball America says. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. But Lang remains a lottery ticket with a wide range of potential outcomes. Getting healthy and improving his command of his secondaries are his most important steps. So take a look at the scouting report. Lang is a long-term project with very real but very raw arm strength. His fastball has exceptional carry and sits 95 to 98 when he is healthy. Everyone, iTalk Studios. I know. iTalk Studios, man. Listen, I was on the Ubers today. I was picking up people left and right. Man, oh man. I'm a little tired today. I'm a little tired. So, oh man, everyone here in Florida, it's starting to get a little warmer here. Oh, and man, I got to go get the AC looked at in the car, man. It was chugging today. I was like, oh man, is my AC broke? And then all of a sudden, the cold air kicked in, and I was relieved. I was quite relieved. So, pray for my AC. Pray for the AC, especially here in Florida. Ugh, kill me. But looking at Mr. Lang. 95-98 on the fastball, although his bulky knee sapped him of his velocity over the summer. His work in progress secondaries include a potentially above average slider that sits in the mid to high 80s, seldomly used changeup. Sounds like a reliever. He sounds like a reliever. So I know, everyone, look at, I'm seeing you in the chat. Yeah, that's pretty wild, right? How wild is that? Born on September 11th, 2001. So, where was he from? Was he from Texas? Man. Yeah, that is pretty eerie, right? Pretty eerie. So, could you imagine if he was born in New York? Oh my God. How eerie would that be? Ugh. But anyway, but Justin Lang, big, hard-throwing guy. Definitely, maybe, could be something for the Yankees down the road. The Yankees love the guys that have velocity. John Morosi, Michael Pineda going to the Tigers. So, but let's talk about Luke Voit, shall we? Let's talk about Luke Voit. Okay, going back to the Padres, I am very happy for him. I was wondering, man, like, he has to be going to, he has to be going to a National League team. Because, I mean, obviously that opened up in the National League, of course, we all know. So with Voit, I think he needs to be a DH more because this is a guy that has had trouble staying on the field. I think it's fine if he plays a little first base here and there, but I think he needs to be more of a designated hitter. So let's go take a look at the Padres. Let's see. So as of right now, they do have Luke Voit as the DH. So that's good. When this guy's healthy, he can hit. He can hit, man. Look at Luke Voit. Go back to 2020, that shortened season. He got MVP votes. He looked really good. He had 22 home runs, 52 RBIs. This dude was on pace for like 50 to 60 home runs in 2020. The guy was out of his mind. He played 56 games, but then he ran into some injuries last year. This is a guy, 30, 40 home run potential. So he's a good on base guy. I know it was obvious why the Yankees wanted him in the first place, because this is a power hitting guy who could get on base. And, it kind of, he reminded me of a Jason Giambi, reminded me of Jason Giambi, but he just could not stay on the field. So, hey, San Diego, just be a designated hitter, and that's going to be really good for San Diego too. Lord Salamander, some dough for your AC, and Gore's velocity was at 94, 98. Gore, yeah, hey, good sign for him, man. Good sign that the velocity's up, striking out a couple of guys. They need him to get on track. That could be one huge piece of the Padres this year. So keep an eye out for it. So yeah, Nando, we're going to talk about Luke Raley here in just a second. I forgot to make a slide on him, so we'll get to that in just a moment. But Luke Voit, I really love this move for the Padres. They needed it because they need slugging percentage. They need bats. But what I do find interesting about it is that they ended up making a trade. And you know what that means to me? You know what that tells me, everyone? They can't get a deal done for Hosmer. They can't. They saw a possibility for Luke Voit, and they said, all right, let's do it, because we still have not found a trade for Myers or Hosmer. They're not going over that CBT. I've said this like a million times. They're not going to go over it. They were over it last year and didn't make the playoffs. Ownership is not going to do it. They won't do it. So they went for a cheap option, a high upside option in Luke Voit. Because look, their payroll right now is at 224. So I do like this move for the Padres. I think the Padres can be really good this year. And they really needed that too, especially with Fernando Tatis Jr. going down. So hopefully for the Padres, Voit can be the hitter that he should be. So hopefully good health for him. The Padres, they got some good things going. Bummer of a season last year, but you got Clevenger coming back. I am a little worried about the starting rotation depth, but if Gore can turn out, there's upside with the Padres. They could end up being a dud of a team, or they could end up being a team that can go deep into the playoffs. So we'll have to wait and see. But while I'm on it, I forgot to make a slide for this, so I'm just going to jump into the next one. There was another trade. The Rays acquiring Luke Raley, coming together on a deal. Luke Raley going to Tampa Bay. Tanner Dodson going back to the Dodgers. So I believe this was a pretty interesting. So if we go back here. Oh, hold on. Ugh. God, these guys. Don't tweet if you don't have anything. Jesse Rogers, I don't care what you think about Freddie Freeman. Also, Bob Nightingale, are you out there? Are you listening? Are you one of the 700 people in the chat right now? Bob, if you are, can you listen to me? Stop tweeting about Freddie Freeman. Enough. Enough is enough. Go get in your pajamas. Go make yourself a little snack and go to bed. No more Freddie Freeman today. We're done. We're done. Bob Nightingale, I swear, if you tweet about Freddie Freeman one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. This dude tweeted like 8,600 times today. I can't do it anymore, okay? I can't read about Freddie Freeman anymore. You have just... I don't even like Freddie Freeman anymore now because I've just seen his name like a million times. Bob, you're done, okay? It's time to turn it in. It's 9:55. It's bedtime. It's bedtime, Bob. We're done. We're done. Okay? We're done. So, iTalk Studios. He will be forgotten. that tweet, man. I still laugh at that tweet. Oh, man. He will be forgotten. Good old Bob. But it is time for bed, though, Bob. It's time for bed. Okay. So, as for this trade, so Luke Raley is a guy. Actually, you know, I'm going to pull up some scouting reports here. Because I'm going to be honest, not too familiar with the scouting reports on these guys. But let's go to Tanner Dodson as well. Tanner Dodson. Here we go. Tanner Dodson. Here we go. So, a couple of scouting reports with Luke Raley. As you can see here, with the scouting, big raw power, 60 raw power already. So it looks like he has reached his potential with the power. Hit tool is low. Game power still not quite there, but he's got some speed. They thought he was going to be a 50, but he's already a 55 right now. Or they think he's just going to get slower over time. But he's got a good arm. So with Luke Raley, this is a guy where if you go to his minor league numbers, it's funny because he was with the Dodgers at first, and then they traded him to Minnesota, and then he ended up going back to the Dodgers. So he had a bit of a cup of coffee last year, 33 games. Hit a couple of homers, but not really much else. But last year with the Dodgers in AAA, he was putting up some really good numbers. 72 home runs, a 294 on base, 294 batting average, 393 on base, 570 slugging. There's potential with him. And it just so happens, man, that the Rays got him. And you know what's interesting? Is there's a similar player, got some power, not too much of a hit tool. Actually, can I pull him up here? Mr. Austin Meadows. He's been in trade rumors recently. He has been in trade rumors. Funny that they acquire someone like Luke Raley, and Austin Meadows has been in trade rumors. So, if we look at Austin Meadows, as you can see here, also someone with raw power. The hit tool, they thought it was going to be a 60, or they said it could be a 60 in the future, only at a 45. Huh, funny enough, Luke Raley, hit tool is not really too high. So both guys, low hit tools, but with power. But Luke Raley also, and look here, 60 speed for Austin Meadows, 55 for Luke Raley. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Where could they end up trading Austin Meadows and then maybe Luke Raley could end up getting some playing time? Very possible. I wonder. That sounds like something the Rays would do, But if you go take a look, Luke Raley, as of right now, doesn't have a spot on the roster, at least according to Fangraphs. So, but don't be surprised if they end up trading Austin Meadows. Don't be surprised if you see Raley. As for Dodson, on the other hand, more of a speed guy at the moment. But as you can see here, pitcher and an outfielder. So let's go to the article here. What do we got? So, LA picks up Dodson, who the Rays selected 71st overall in 2018 draft. Remember, he was a two-way player. He continued to work in both capacities early in his professional career. Scouts have long questioned how much offensive upside he'd have due to a lack of raw power, though he's worked primarily off the mound in recent years. He tallied just 30 plate appearances in high A last season, but worked as a reliever. So, very interesting. If you go here to his pitching, if you take a look at his numbers, in 2021 at A-ball, he looked pretty good. 2.50 ERA, a 3.11 FIP, 10 strikeouts per 9. So, he's put up some decent numbers. Hey, You know? I find it interesting. Because, remember, Eric Neander, Andrew Friedman, these are two guys, they have a relationship. So I wonder, maybe the Rays, they gave Mr. Andrew Friedman a call and said, hey, listen, we're trying to trade Meadows here. Think you could maybe send over Rayleigh? And then Friedman says, oh, well, how about you send over a little Tanner Donson, huh? So, you know, they got that relationship where maybe, you know, just saying, maybe they can they helping each other out a little bit. But we'll have to wait and see. His numbers were pretty good off the mound. The Dodgers, hey, they tend to do pretty good with these young pitchers, man. So we'll have to wait and see. I like it. I think it's a good little move. But we have a couple of more stories, and then we're going to be done for the night. A signing today, speaking of the Dodgers, good little transition right there. That's not the right picture. Hold on a second. That's not the right. Oh, hold on. I uploaded the wrong picture. Hold on, everyone. There we go. There's the right picture. Tyler Anderson going to the Dodgers. And no surprise here. Dodgers looking to improve the depth. I've been talking about that. They are just adding pitching depth. So going here. Look at all the pitching that they've added. And look at all the lefties they have. You got Heaney. You got Anderson. I mean, there's a lot of lefties going on here. You're going to get Bauer back eventually. But if they get Bauer back, which I think they will, I'm just saying, man, they got a lot of depth. So Tyler Anderson, he's not going to change, you know, the game, but he's just going to give you innings. And last year he had 31 starts, 4.37 FIP. I think he's going to be a decent pickup for them. He's just going to give innings. So we'll have to wait and see. But you got to wait and see with a lot of these guys. I know I say that all over again, but I think Tyler Anderson has potential to just be a solid pickup for the Dodgers. So, but the trend here with LA is they're adding pitching depth. So no surprise, because you don't really, you got Walker Buehler, Urias, Kershaw. Kershaw, he's had his ups and downs. We know staying healthy. So, the fact that they have Heaney and Anderson, if they feel like Kershaw maybe has some issues, these are two guys that can really step up. So don't forget, you still have David Price. Will he end up starting some games? Are they going to use him as like more of an opener kind of a guy? It's just crazy to see how far David Price has fallen. It's crazy, man, because this guy was huge contract with the Red Sox. And now he's in middle relief on Fangraphs. That's crazy to me. So, but the Dodgers adding depth. You got to love it. But speaking of depth, the St. Louis Cardinals, it looks like they're losing some depth. Flaherty, Reyes, they're going to be missing the start of the season. That's a tough blow, man. Tough blow. Taking a look here. It looks like Alex Reyes is going to miss a couple of months. And I know he had his ups and downs last year, but that's a big arm. That's a big arm, man. And, a big arm for your bullpen. You're going to lose him for a couple of months. As for Jack Flaherty, remember, they pulled him the other day because, they wanted to give him check out the shoulder a little bit, but he received a PRP injection to address a small tear in his right shoulder. So it sounds like he wasn't healthy, and they tried ramping him back up, and he just couldn't handle the volume. So there's something going on in that shoulder, man. But he's not going to have enough time to build up arm strength in time for opening day, so he'll begin the season on the IL. But then Reyes, that's a big loss for the bullpen. Michael Yanks, AJ Preller finally made a move, but we still need a power bat outfielder. Could maybe someone like Austin Meadows be the guy? Could be. I could see something like that. So we'll have to wait and see. But Thank you, Michael Yench, for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. So, what do the Cardinals do from here? I still do think the Cardinals, you got Matthew Liberatore down there. You still do have someone like Jake Woodford, who had some okay numbers last year. He did have 8 starts, a 3.99 ERA. But what was his FIP? FIP last year was a 4.50. But, he's a young guy. So, he could keep getting better. So, but good thing they added Steven Matz. That was a big move. So, you got Hudson Michaelis coming back. You got Liberatore in the minor leagues. You can still look towards the free agent market. If you look at the free agents available, they needed a bullpen arm before, and now they really need a bullpen arm. So, if you take a look at the guys that are unsigned, losing Flaherty, who are some pitchers, man? There's not a lot of pitching left. Could you go after maybe Johnny Cueto? Like a veteran guy who can give you some innings? Could you bring J.A. Happ back? I don't know. Maybe Julio Teheran, I guess, has been looking okay in some showcases. Could you bring in Julio Teheran? Someone like Zach Davies? Maybe go for high upside with Chris Archer? I don't know. Matt Harvey's looking like he's in pretty good shape. Could maybe they bring him in? As for bullpen guys, I wonder, could the Cardinals end up taking a chance on someone like Kenley Jansen? Maybe bring back, bring in Richard Rodriguez. Or not bring back, sorry, but bring in Richard Rodriguez. He was with the Pirates in the same division. Maybe they think, maybe the familiarity would be good. You got some bullpen guys out here. So, I thought Tepera would have been a really nice fit. I would imagine if they didn't get Tepera, they're probably not going to get Kenley Jansen. I don't know, man. So, it'll be interesting. Knowing the Cardinals, maybe they'll do something cheap. But they could use a bullpen guy. Maybe someone like Tyler Clippard. Maybe take a high upside chance with Rosenthal. With Rosenthal, remember, he was with St. Louis for a long time. Will they want to take a chance on him? Dr. Touchdown, if I'm not too late to say Trevor Story to the Cardinals. Let's go. Please and thanks. Trevor Story to the Cardinals. Dr. Touchdown wants it. He needs it. He needs it in his life. Thank you for the super chat, Dr. Touchdown. Really appreciate that. It's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting to see where Story goes. I'm very intrigued. Oh! How funny. We were just talking about Kenley Jansen. Wow. The Braves have signed Kenley Jansen. Well, I just said a second ago, I don't think the Cardinals are going to sign him. Because if they didn't sign Ryan Tepera, they're probably not going to go get Kenley Jansen. Wow. Big move. Breaking news. Kenley Jansen going to the Braves. Wow. Look at this. We were on it here, everyone. Wow. Look at the Atlanta Braves bullpen. Ooh. Look at Kenley Jansen. Man. Didn't expect that. Wow. Look at this. Colin McHugh the other day, and now Kenley Jansen. I mean, this is pretty nice, man. And I love that. I love that they're bringing in some righties. Because remember in the playoffs, Will Smith, AJ Minter, Tyler Matzek, 3 righties. Okay, remember Luke Jackson? He had his issues. Righty guy. I love that they're bringing in these other righties. Colin McHugh and Kenley Jansen. Maybe Tyler Thornburg could be a high upside guy. Wow. Big move for the Atlanta Braves. Breaking news, everyone. Breaking news from the Braves themselves. They were the ones that reported it. Kenley Jansen Going to the Atlanta Braves. Michael Yench, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. The Dodgers bullpen got weaker. Love to see it. Gotta love it for the Padres fans. Justin Lane. Yes, 3 lefties. I'm sorry. 3 lefties I meant. They had the 3 lefties last year in the bullpen. The Atlanta Braves. Will Smith, Madsick, and Minter, where 3 lefties, they were carrying that bullpen. And the only righty that they were really turning to in the late innings was Luke Jackson, right? But now they got McHugh, and now you got Kenley Jansen. John Smith with $1 super chat. John Smith, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Conman752. John Clayton just died. Rest in peace to his mom. I'm done with my segment Sports Center commercial. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Did that really happen? I took me a second to realize what you were saying. Oh man, did he really pass away? Oh man, I didn't know that. Dude, that commercial with John Clayton was so funny. That was one of my favorite commercials, man. When John Clayton, he's like, "Mom, I'm done with my segment," and then he gets on his bed and he just like starts jamming out to his like just classic rock, and he starts eating his Chinese food. Man, that's when Sports Center was good, man. Oh, wow. Rest in peace, John Clayton, man. Man. He was really good. He was really good. He was one of the good ones at ESPN, man. Hey, rest in peace. You know, prayers to his family. Oh, man. Comment 752. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. But rest in peace, John Clayton, man. But wow, back to the Braves. Back to the Braves. We're back up to 700 people in the chat. The Braves have added Kenley Jansen. Huge move. That's a big time play right there, man. Also, can I just say this? I love that the Braves, I think one, they did not announce, but the Braves have been announcing their own free agent signings. I love that. I love that the Braves announced them. But this is a big play, man. This is going to be really good. This Braves bullpen, I believe they ranked around 10th overall last season. Like 10th or 12th, somewhere in that range. But now you've added McHugh and now Kenley Jansen. I mean, it's really... And then Tyler Thornburg, maybe a high upside move could end up being something. This is going to be a tough... This Braves team is going to be tough. Very tough team. And I think they're very... very capable of winning that East again, even with teams like the Mets improving dramatically, and then the Phillies making moves too. I'm just saying. Baseball sports talk. You think the Phillies get Nick Castellanos? It seems, according to the reports, they're on his tail, and he still does make sense for the Phillies, but they're going to have to go over that CBT. The Phillies, if they want to compete, they're going to have to do something like that. They're in win now mode. They're going to have to make a move like that. John Smith, $5. Do you think the Rangers make any moves to get another pitcher for the rotation? At this point, I mean, they could go after, you know, if we look at the Texas Rangers right now, I mean, this rotation, man, they're not going to be doing much this year. There's not going to be a lot going on with Texas this year. Yes, they've added Seager and Semien, which I do like, but I still think that the Rangers, they got some work to do still. I was really hoping they would get someone like Kershaw or Greinke. I thought that would have been really nice, but the bright side with Texas, Jack Leiter, a lot of promise with him. Cole Winn, a lot of promise with him. You got someone like Ricky Vanasco down here as well. Glenn Otto. So there's guys on the horizon. There's guys on the horizon. So, William Fulgham, yes. Kirby Yates also coming back. Yes. So this was what was this? 2 years. What was it? 2 years or a 1 year deal. 1 year for 16. Probably a bit of an overpay, but with Kenley Jansen, I think he was worth around like $13 million last year. I could be wrong on that, but very big move, very big move. So I would say it's a bit of an overpay, but either way, Kenley Jansen, he's had his ups and downs, but I'm glad he's getting a fresh start somewhere. I feel like there was a bit of a stink on Kenley Jansen, because not a lot of was not very good in clutch moments. He kind of gave up a lot of games. So, taking a look here. Yeah, William Fulgham. Yeah, Kirby Yates. Look for Kirby Yates down the road. I really hope Kirby Yates does come back. I really hope so, man. So, Hirsch for real. Who signs first? I'll say Story. I think Correa, he's going to hold out as long as he can. Correa's not worried about it. He's not worried about going to spring training. He'll go for a couple of weeks and he'll be fine. I think Story, they got to figure it out. But man, look at this Braves offseason, man. I mean, good grief. What a great offseason they've been having. Winning a championship, and they're just getting right to work. Matt Olson, Rosario, Dickerson, smaller move, but whatever. Don't forget about Manny Pena. He's going to be getting you defense. Haven't really done anything with the starting pitching, but I think that just shows how confident they are with them. And then the bullpen, McHugh, Jansen. So big. Very good offseason for the Atlanta Braves. Soon I will be doing my offseason grades. So I'm actually pretty excited to do those. And yeah, I think the Braves, man, they're definitely a winner. So Kenley Jansen, man, going to the Braves. Breaking news just before we ended the show. But let's see. Where are we at with the likes, everyone? Everyone, we got 314 likes. We got 800 people. Come on. Where are the 500 likes? That's the goal. We got to get to 500 likes. Everyone, smash that like button. We're only at 300 likes. I know my face is not very pretty, but hey, come on. Do me a favor here. Come on. Hit that like button for me. But, yeah. So we went over a lot of things tonight. Let's just kind of go over everything we've, really talked about. We still got this whole weekend. I will be live, but it looks like Trevor Story down to 4 teams. Castellanos could be nearing a deal with the Phillies. Carlos Correa, not really too much of an update, but we're going to have to wait and see. Luke Voit traded to the Padres. Tyler Anderson going to the Dodgers. The Cardinals losing Flaherty and Reyes. And now we have Kenley Jansen going to the Atlanta Braves. Breaking news here. Right before we got done. Oh, we got a couple of super chats coming in last second. Michael Yanch, $5 super chat. Will my Padres do any more moves? I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to sign anyone unless it's someone really cheap. I don't think they're going to sign anyone unless they can trade Hosmer or Myers. I don't think anyone wants them. So, William Fulgham, $4.99 super chat. Braves best offseason even with losing Freeman. I mean, Braves fans, you got to be pretty happy. Right now with the Atlanta Braves, man. I mean, they lost their star player, and look at what they're doing. They got Olsen on a better contract, and he's younger. Bullpen is looking great with McHugh and Jansen going in it. I mean, come on. They're making moves, man. They're making some great moves. So, Baseball Sports Talk. $1.99. You're the king of we have to wait and see. But it's true. I mean, we don't really know. We got to wait and see, man. Got to wait and see. So I do say that a lot, don't I? I think I definitely repeat that quite a bit. But I mean, really, at the end of the day, I wish I had some inside sources. I wish I did. I'm not going to be out there like MLB nerds on Twitter, just putting all these things. Oh, this team is heavily interested in this team. And then it just doesn't happen. And it's like, what is this guy even doing? I'm getting tired of it, honestly. Like, I actually retweeted something that he said today saying that Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas were going to be on the move, to the Cardinals and the Yankees or whatever it was. And I retweeted it. I'm like, all right, that's not going to happen. Confirmed. It's like, this guy's got to calm down, man. I don't know what he's doing. I think this MLB nerds, man, I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong, but it just seems like he's doing it for clicks, dude. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong because that would be really cool if he does have some sources. So, but I don't know, man. But that's why I do say a lot, we have to wait and see because we don't know. I don't know anything. I wish I did. I wish I had some sources for you guys. I wish I had someone that I could just shoot a text. Hey, man, you got any any juicy info for me? I wish I had something like that. That'd be cool. Even if I did, I've said this before, I wouldn't, even if I had a guy that I could, that could give me all this inside information, I wouldn't be throwing it out there like every single time. I would only throw something out there if I knew that it had a lot of potential, where like I was sure it was going to happen, So I would rather report 5 things and go 5 for 5 than report 100 things of teams having interest and only 7 of them work out. You know what I mean? So, but look at my Red Sox, Hansel Robles. Coming back to the Red Sox. Hansel Robles back to the Red Sox. All right, he did pretty good for the Red Sox last year. He did pretty good. So I'm all about it. Hansel Robles, hey, hard-throwing guy. He had a pretty good little stretch with the Red Sox there last year. Taking a look. I don't mind someone like him in middle relief. Really don't. If you look at his last year, hold on real quick before I get out of here. The Red Sox last year with the Twins, 4.91 ERA, 4.83 FIP. Looking at what he did with the Red Sox, a 3.60 ERA, 3.37 FIP. More strikeouts. The walks were around the same, but it looks like the Red Sox, they figured out something with him, and hey, I think it's a good move. Good guy for the bullpen, middle relief. I'm okay with that. Right, so, but, Heim, where are you at? Trevor Story, let's go. Come on. Trevor Story, let's get this guy locked up. We need Trevor Story in Beantown, man. Come on. Where's Trevor Story? That's not Trevor Story. All right, well, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I'll definitely be back tomorrow for a stream, so be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, we get some good news about Trevor Story coming to the Red Sox. Hopefully. But I definitely think he could go to some other teams as well, so I'm not going to bank on it. But who knows? The Red Sox, they need a right-handed bat. Could they get Story? Could they get Castellanos? I don't know. As Baseball Sports Talk said earlier, we're going to have to wait and see. So, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. Have yourself a good rest of your night. Go get some rest. Go eat a sandwich. Go do something. But, everyone, have yourself a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.